Beat a great Xavier team. I don't think either team was maybe their sharpest tonight or their best tonight. I thought, especially early in that first half, we both missed a lot of wide open shots that I think they normally make and that we, I think, should normally make because they were wide open looks. But we knew it was going to be a hell of a game. We knew it was, they battle, they scratch, they're tough. I got a lot of respect for Xavier. That's why this win is such a big win for our program and for our league. But our guys battled. We talked a lot in film sessions, talked a lot in practice, talked a lot in meetings about players have to make plays. Whether it was the Colorado State game, the Portland game, the game tonight. I mean, and tonight our players made plays. I mean, down the stretch, man, Derek that's the Derek White we all kind of, I've been talking about, you guys have been expecting to see, our fans have been expecting to see. He was terrific down the stretch. X made some big plays for us. Wesley made some good passes. George made a big three there to put us up one and kind of get the momentum going. So, great win.
You talked about your defense in that 15-0 run and
yeah.
How many stops in a row. I haven't counted it, but I think it was 5 or 6.
Yeah, I don't know either. And then down the stretch, there was one timeout down the stretch. Coach Carney, said they've scored 6 straight times. So it went from getting multiple stops in a row to, and that's why we couldn't break the game open. That's why they hung around and kept shrinking it. Now we were able to execute offensively and make some plays in the offensive end, which obviously makes things a lot easier on your defense. And in the past we've been missing those opportunities on offense and then not being able to get stops. But for us to be as good as we need to get, we need to be able to get stops down the stretch when they're driving it, just putting their heads down and driving it and jumping in the lane. And I thought our guys tried to do the right things in terms of going up vertical but I got to watch the film and see. But we overcame some things tonight at home that usually you don't have to overcome, if you know what I mean.
What do you think of that Derek White block at the end there?
It's big-time block. Yeah, big-time block. And again, there was a lot of contact in the lane. It's a hard game to officiate. A lot of contact in the lane. But, that one, they didn't call a foul. Thank God. They were calling fouls every trip before that, but that one they didn't. And we, again, on our end, I don't think we got to finish better with contact, obviously.
Coach, with Derek, you mentioned this a little bit in your opening comments, but in a game like this and the plays he made down the stretch, is this kind of what you were envisioning in the best case
Absolutely.
scenario?
Absolutely. And you have to have that at the highest level of college basketball. You can have all the plays in the world. You can have all the defensive concepts in the world. But if you don't have players that can make plays down the stretch, you're not going to win games like this. And tonight we did, and we made the plays. And for that, I'm really, as frustrated as I've been maybe in the past, about that not happening, I'm as proud tonight for them doing it, because it's all about those guys having confidence. One of the things we really stressed before the game tonight was play loose and play confident offensively. Don't play tight. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. And we still have some guys that are capable of playing better than they played tonight. We didn't have a full team. We got to get some guys back healthy. We got to get some guys playing a little bit better than they played tonight. And but man, what a win!
Shortly before this season began, you said that in that moment, a couple days before the season over, that Xavier very well could beat you by 20. Is it kind of nice to see the guys having proven you wrong, and what does that kind of say about where this team has gone since day one to now? Yeah,
and it's not like I said they were going to. I said they could. If we're not ready to play, this team will come in and take your heart. I mean, you saw even at the last possession of the game when they got up a 3. They got that rebound. Those guys are good. They're going to win a lot of games. So I say that because I got a lot of respect for Xavier, and I want our players to understand whoever they play. And what drives me crazy about players, some of the things that drives me crazy about fans, is they want to play in the big games. They want to show up for the big games, but they don't want to play in every. They don't want to play against, the quote unquote non-big games. Well, guess what? They're all big games. Every game we play is a big game. People, look. I was in my house 6 years ago when we got snubbed by the NCAA tournament committee. This is a big game in that context. Colorado State was a big game in that context. Portland was a big game. BYU is going to be a big game in that context. And we have to understand that every time we step on the floor, it's not about playing up to your competition or playing down. It's about playing Colorado basketball. And when we do that, we'll take the results. But when we don't, I get frustrated. When we do, I'm usually a pretty proud coach.
Coach, did you learn much about this team tonight? West and XJ down the stretch in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Even though you may not have the most production from your bench,
Yeah.
Your starters.
We beat a good team when we didn't play our best, and we had foul trouble. We tried the zone in the first half. It wasn't real effective, but it kind of got us through. I learned that we can bounce back from adversity. We were up 5 with 2 minutes to go, and we go in the locker room down 3. I mean, not a good stretch. They come out, score 5 straight, boom, start the second half. We didn't fold our tent. We didn't get our heads down. That's the thing, that we didn't get our heads down. We didn't have bad body language tonight like we did last Wednesday.
Can you talk a little bit about the role that Xavier is playing this year? It seems like he's really become the emotional leader.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, he made some big shots for us tonight. He is the emotional leader on our team. He's playing unselfishly. I can't say enough good things about what he's doing. And I wasn't 100% sure. Obviously, he's had some times where he's struggled. I think he's playing emotionally under control, which is a great stride for him. That's something he's struggled with in the past. But now you're seeing when things get tight and things, he might have unraveled mentally in the past, but he hasn't done that in tough times and in good times. So really pleased with what he's bringing to our team.
Coaching had his third double-double in the last 6 games.
Yep.
And he's had some games where he hasn't quite come close to that. Did you find that switch that you can just...
Neil, I'll let you know after, when we can string a few together, I'll let you know. But right now, it's where's it going to be? But you could tell George was talking about rebounding in the huddles. He was, we said, we got to go to the offensive glass. And, I'd hear him say, oh, I got that handle, coach. Like, you could tell, even he didn't get some, he went. He made a great effort tonight on the boards, and it showed in his numbers. So he can be as good a rebounder as he wants to be.
Coach, you talked at the beginning of last week about how important you thought this 4-game non-conference stretch was. It ends Saturday at BYU, tough place to play, relatively short turnaround. We're getting a win there and going 3-1 during that stretch you talked about. Kind of be a success in your eyes? At
this point, yeah. I want to go 4-0, but at this point, yeah, we get a win at BYU. I'll take it. But it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to be mentally tough. We're going to have to fight, that road crowd. And BYU is a good team, well-coached team. They like to play fast. We're not going to have an altitude advantage on BYU like we had tonight against Xavier. So we got to be dialed in. We're going to need a great team effort, Saturday night to beat the Cougars.
Coach, Xavier was able to get the edge in the rebound.
They were
41-36, but it did seem second half down the stretch you guys were able to come up with a decent amount of the boards on key possessions. You think that's fair to say that as the game went on, you guys did a little bit better?
Yeah, look, it was a 5 rebound differential, and they had 5 more offensive rebounds than us. I thought they offensive rebounded the ball better than we offensive rebounded the ball, and that's where we have to get better. But again, that's what Xavier does. That's what we do. They beat us in that category. I thought we got stops when we had to get stops. I'm sure they feel like they didn't shoot the ball well tonight, which I don't think they did. They shot 18% from 3 in the second half. I like it when the other team does that rather than the Buffaloes. So they missed a couple free throws down the stretch. Sometimes wins and losses it's a pretty fine line. But we beat a good team, and they weren't maybe as good as they're capable of playing tonight, but we beat a good team, and for that we got to take it and run.
Coach, were you disappointed at all in the atmosphere tonight?
Well, I said on the radio, the students that were here were great. The fans, the community's been great. I mean, but the students that were here were great, but the rest of them that weren't here missed a good game, and I was disappointed in that turnout. Absolutely.
Coach, Torrey gave it a go on Saturday, past Saturday, played a little bit. What's changed since then that you didn't think he was able to go this
I
week?
have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. Yeah,
Think he'll be able to go Saturday?
I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea. I'm being straight with you. I mean, I'm not trying to.
When you had to put Wesley had to go to the bench with 4 fouls, you had to put a freshman in there
Yeah.
on Gaston. He struggled a little bit, but was it nice to get him?
Well, look, this is a learning experience for Lucas Seward. I mean, if he doesn't understand how hard he has to work in the weight room from this point forward, if he doesn't understand how physical the game is, how fast the game moves, he's one guy that's struggling a little bit right now. But I believe in him. He's going to be a good player here. He was thrown into a tough situation in a tough environment, and we'd like to have Torrey Miller back, but if we don't, well, Lucas is going to get those backup minutes. And, you know, the thing I love about our team, and, you know, you'd mentioned Xavier Johnson, you know, Xavier was really trying to be positive with Lucas when he was in the game, talking to him in huddles, encouraging him, you know, being real vocal. That's the one thing Xavier's done, I think, as good as anybody I've had in a while in terms of being that positive. And when Xavier's positive with his emotions, it helps everybody. And he was positive with Lucas tonight, which I thought was a good sign. So.
Coach, briefly, some thoughts about Josh Fortune. He's kind of the one guy in this.
Yeah, he didn't shoot the ball well tonight, and you know Josh is getting good shots. I think he took good shots. He's just got to stay with it and stay positive. And we know he's a good shooter. He's just got to be able to, you know, get on track. And there might be nights when somebody else has a tough night from the field, and he steps up. So that's again the balance of this team is key. And you know, if we get all 5 guys on the floor hitting on all cylinders, we got a chance to be really, really good. Tonight we didn't have that. Josh wasn't his best shooting the ball, but I thought he competed defensively, and you know, it's one game. I believe in him.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.